everybody, and welcome back to iRacing. It is week 1 of what I believe is season 4. We are in a brand new car on iRacing, brand new car in general, I guess. This is the Porsche Mission R. I'm sure you've heard about this, seen it somewhere. This is the all-electric GT racer that is new to iRacing, the first electric car, all-electric car to iRacing. Of course, stuff like the Audi R18 has had hybrid technology. We got a 20-lap race here at Watkins Glen. Somebody's already jumped the start.
Go, go, go. 20 minutes
and away we go. No shifting required. Only one gear in this electric vehicle. In fact, the only time I've known an electric car to have shifting was the original Formula E car back in the day.
Clear to the right.
This is a very sketchy first lap. The tires really do take about a lap to come up to temperature in this car. And let me tell you, this car is very weird to drive.
Decent start.
And I've driven electric cars in games before. You know, I've driven a Formula E car. I've driven just about every version of the Formula E car in R Factor or other games. But this is the first time I've ever driven a GT car. I guess the closest thing you could say was driving something like a Tesla mod or something like that for, you know, Assetto Corsa. But it's a very interesting car. It's very difficult to master. I am by no means quick in this car, so if you're looking for somebody who's quick, I would find someone else to watch. You know, I don't know anybody who's been doing this. I know Casey Kerwin, I watch him a lot. He did the week 13 race with this car, but then kind of said he wasn't interested in doing it. It wasn't for him.
Still there.
This is, again, it's a very interesting car to drive. Your brain gets tricked into thinking it should drive like a GT3 car because it looks like that, you know, for the most part. Some little futuristic stuff like on the steering wheel here. But it is a very, very different driving experience than a GT car. And I wonder if part of that is because, you know, how much of it is because it's an electric vehicle and part of it because of the fact it's not like a GT3 spec vehicle. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be spec'd close to, but it definitely drives different as get our first off track there, thinking this drives like it does when you're racing NASCAR. There just are no track limits, I guess. So we're in the slipstream here. Qualified P8. I believe there's 13 cars in this race. It didn't qualify well because I had not done any laps in the qualifying spec setup. And it's not like, you know, IMSA or something where you just have less fuel in the car so it can go a little faster, stuff like that. Much like Formula E, it kind of goes into an unrestricted mode for qualifying in terms of the power. So all of a sudden, heading down the back straightaway, instead of doing, you know, 150, maybe 160, all of a sudden you're doing 180 plus. But nothing else on the car has changed, so you just gotta try to figure out the car with 20 more miles per hour attached to your speed. So it's gonna take some getting used to if I continue to drive this car. I would certainly like to. I hope they add like the Formula E car in the future. I didn't know if they could, you know, because of maybe limitations on their model with electric cars. But clearly that is not an issue. I've been having a lot of trouble there coming out of the boot in this car. I have trouble with that in every car. If you've ever watched a video of me here at Watkins Glen, you know that for a fact. It seems we've slotted in here to P7 for now.
The leader's just done a 147.6.
Should have enough energy to get us through this entire 20-minute race. I don't think it's like Formula E's real races or anything like that where you have to conserve energy. I don't think iRacing has introduced any of that to us here. Head through the carousel again. Slipstream seems to make a pretty big difference in this car, I noticed. I was watching some other cars in practice, you know, trying to figure out how they were driving, but also just to see how the car does. And when I saw cars that were in groups together, it seemed like the slipstream, the draft, really makes a difference in this car. And it also
Just
seems like
ignore it,
I
it'll
have
go
to
away.
put more input into this car than some of the other GT cars. It really wants that full rotation of the steering wheel. Try to hold number 4 car off. Like I said, 20 minutes here at the Glen. It's about half the race of an IMSA race here, because they do 45-minute races. Of course, again,
Okay,
the
Des,
first week
15
of the new
minutes left.
season,
That's
hoping to
15
get
minutes.
back into iRacing. I know I say that just about every time I do an iRacing video, but hopefully this time, now that the summertime is coming to a close, life will slow down a little bit. Because you know how it is with summer, everyone gets pretty busy, had a lot of big things happen over the summer here, so hopefully life can slow down a little bit and we can get back into sim racing more than I have been able to. Only some videos, of course, here and there, and it's not like I'm doing a lot of racing without making videos. I just haven't had time to really do anything. When I have had time to do something, I've kind of just been preferring to play games for myself. We seem to be heading towards that no man's land. No woman's land, whatever you want to call it. Because we're starting to lose this car in front, trying not to, but then it looks like something happened behind us. That 4 car is no longer there. And it's a pretty big gap to the car behind. So I guess we'll see what happens here. See if we can try to keep up with this number 10 car. And just keep trying to improve my lap time here in this car, because tell you what, when I first started practicing with this car, I've only done the practice session that leads in to this session, and I was running 150s. So the fact I'm into the 148s consistently right now, 149s, shows improvement. I think that's going to be the case for everyone. Everyone's just going to continue to keep getting better. With this car is... I was looking down at my steering wheel trying to make an adjustment and lost track there. So there's a stupid mistake number 1 of our new iRacing season. Wouldn't be iRacing if I didn't make well, I guess it wouldn't be one of my videos, because it doesn't matter if I'm playing iRacing, Automobilista, or even any of the old games I've played like SpongeBob, something like that. It wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't make some sort of stupid mistake along the way. Now what it is, speaking of which, really wide there in the final corner goes Jason. Let's see if we can track him down here.
The gap to Leon ahead is now 0.7. Stay between the lines, please, Des. Use is increasing.
Whoa, he got really wide there. There we go, there's P6 for us. I doubt we'll be able to catch the cars in front, so we're just going to focus on
getting closer.
trying to drive smooth here and focus on making sure that he can't get back to us. Gotta say, I actually drive a little better in this car so far when following somebody, simply because I'm still learning it, so hopefully our lap time doesn't drop too much here. So we actually had a big wiggle there under braking. But one thing you would have heard there as I was keeping my yap shut was my battery use was increasing. Interesting that they have that updated for crew chief. Nice little touch. But you can't see it, it's just off the side, because if you didn't know this, I run on an ultra-wide setup.
P6.
and you only see the middle part of the screen here. You don't see the rest, kind of like when people are on triple screens. But, whew,
Okay, Des, ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your
I'm
line.
trying.
Nail those exits.
But I do have a fuel, it says fuel, obviously, in this case it's energy, calculator here as part of the Race Lab apps. And it says we should have about 4 gallons, so whatever that translates to in the sim. So, but either way, should have enough energy to get to the finish here for sure. Would be interesting if they could make these races a little more like a Formula E, where you do have to conserve some energy. But I can also understand why they don't do that, especially with a new car, I guess. So let's actually take a look over here, the pit service. So it says begin charging. I don't want to do that. So it has the kilowatt hours on the car. We do have 51.2, and it says we have about 9 laps left. Considering we're halfway through the race and on lap 6, yeah, we are going to be more than fine in terms of our energy use. So let's try to get our heads down here, see what we can do, and try to keep this 10 car behind me with just over halfway in the race. Well, I guess that takes care of one car there.
The gap in front is increasing.
I took the normal braking line I've been going into. I don't know if he was just trying something new there, or genuinely didn't expect me to brake when I did, but it seems like what happened to the 10 is he had to really slam on the brakes, and the brakes just locked up on him there, and he lost control of the car. So fortunate for the 10, but however, that does give us some more breathing room as I lock up the brakes myself there. Gives us a little more breathing room as I'm also, even though I'm trying, obviously, it's not like I'm taking it easy, but I am not pushing as hard as I can simply because I know I can be faster, especially in the 6 car. I'm just trying to keep it on track because we've already got the 3X. I'm trying to avoid more X's here. There's another 150. But I think part of it is also, again, like I said, for some reason, I am just faster in this car when following someone right now. This car is going to take a lot of getting used to, I think, because, again, it just drives so incredibly different from anything I've ever driven. And that includes the Formula E car. And I think one of the things also is, even though you get used to it, quote-unquote, in the Formula E car, it still feels weird not to shift. It feels weird in the Formula E car, even though you get used to it and you know you don't have to. But there's still that instinct to put your hands on the shifters to try to shift through the gears here. The other thing is, I'm not sure what kind of tires these are running. I don't know if they're groove tires like they do in Formula E, or if these are actually slick tires. But the tire wear on this car does seem to be pretty high, because even after just these 8 laps, the car definitely loses a lot of grip. So the tire compound on this car is very interesting, to say the least, because you do feel that lack of grip come on relatively soon. I mean, not soon, you know, in terms of this car, considering we only have 5 minutes left and it's a 20-minute race, but you'd think, you know, if this was a normal tire, I wonder if tire wear is up on this car or something like that. Or again, I wonder what kind of tire they are putting on this car, because it's not like real life where they have, you know, for stuff like IMSA and stuff, they have a tire they can try to replicate, or they have the Goodyear tires for NASCAR and stuff. Of course, iRacing having their own tire model means a whole different thing for that. But I wonder what the tire, I'm sure they consulted Porsche when talking about what kind of wear they see with the car in their testing.
Okay, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. Keep
and
it
stuff
nice
like
and
that.
Come on, let the race come to us.
Man,
Car left.
6 car got a huge run on us
Still
there.
Clear on the left.
You lose momentum in this car, it is a death sentence. It's just like being
Hold
at a
your
super
line.
speedway.
Clear right.
So we brake really early there. I think the 7 car actually did hit the wall. I heard something there. I backed out of it really early there because I am not doing side by side, especially on the outside on the entrance of the chicane. Let's see if we can get these guys back here. I am really struggling for grip in the car, to be honest with you. So this race, all of a sudden, really not going how I want it to go. We are back to where we started, so at least there's that. You know, we're not in negative positions, but as you can see how much I'm having to fight the wheel there when I apply power on the exit. 7 car here, a little bit in the grass there. Whoa, the 6 car ran real wide there. Wonder if everyone's starting to struggle for tire wear here. And there's just no grip in the car. But I'm just not able to get the exits through the corners and carry the momentum that these guys are, and that's what's killing me. And it seems to be, again, the big thing with this car. It's not, you know, there's momentum in every car, in it, you know, as we are aware, but it's kind of like racing the Gen 6 car in NASCAR. In its last couple of years, the aero package, where momentum is such a thing with the aerodynamics, you know, momentum you carry through the corners. And I seem to be struggling a lot with that as we get our 4th off track as I try to catch up to these guys here. See how much I'm fighting the car just in the S's. I can't even keep it on the throttle. It looks like they're going to be battling here a little bit, so that should slow them down a little to help us.
You need to pass this twat, you're losing too much time.
I didn't know they would call them twats. Says, whoa! Really close to the wall there is the 6. Hear the tires screaming. That is something with electric cars. You really hear the brakes and tires. Just how much they scream and fight. It's completely sideways there. This is one of the things, you kind of hear it a little bit more when the car is losing grip, because you can hear the tires screaming. The interesting things about electric cars.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
Already at the final 2-minute mark, so I'm going to guess 2 laps to go here. Man, I just don't know if we're going to be able to get back up to these guys. I am just struggling so much on the grip. Ooh-ah! Like I said, I just can't get to the power like everyone else seems to can. Maybe I used up my stuff at the beginning of the race here. A little bit better through the chicane that time, but we've lost so much ground. We're not really in slipstream here. These two both going on the defensive line. And whoa! Got someone running the course.
On your left. Clear to the left.
That helps us get a spot back, but actually it kind of hurts us because
Well done.
they were
Good
battling.
pass.
I was
Nice
hoping it was
front.
going to slow him down a bit, but now the 6 can kind of just watch his own stuff here. Just, whoa! Big oversteer there when we get on the throttle. Now I've got to worry about this 7 car who seems to have
Car
either
right.
not slowed down or it applied really weirdly.
Still there. Hold your line.
Just see him there on the right side of us.
Keep it steady. Clear right.
Try the over-under there. He carries good momentum through the corner there, just not able to do anything there. Man, I gotta learn that corner in everything. I just struggle so much coming out of the boot. You can really hear the tires there! Well, stupid mistake number 2. Hit the grass there
Left side. Clear left.
at the entrance to the corner there,
Last lap.
and lost control of the car, so now we just gotta fight to get our starting position back here. In fact, this happened the last time I raced at Watkins Glen, except it was in the boot. You saw that video. I was driving in IMSA at the time. I just love clipping the grass, it seems, at these tracks. Ah, fuck me.
Pay attention to track limits.
I was too close to him entering the bus stop chicane there, and it just really screwed up with my line. And now the car has no grip, and we're just getting X's left, right.
The stewards have
A
warned us to
disastrous
keep
end
it
to a race
between
that
white
started
lines.
off so strong for us. Just mistake after mistake from ourselves. Loss of grip in the tire. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have a net loss of positions here. And probably not great safety, but hey, we're gaining I rating still. We've got a caution.
Push now, we can catch this guy.
Okay, fuck off, dude. Seriously? The car is obviously still there and you pull forward. Well, we're back to our starting spot at least, but for some reason that dude decided to pull out while cars were still going by, so lovely
Johnson
4X for
is
that.
leading the race.
And we will come across the line here. P8. Yeah, like I said, a lot of learning to do with this car. It is an odd car to try to figure out, so
P8. There's the checkered flag.
not great, but not horrible, so that'll do it for this video, guys. If you liked, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more iRacing content. And at least he apologized. Or was that someone else? No, that was someone else. Never mind. Fuck that, guys. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.